So today also we will be discussing more about mind, the function of the mind. So I think in last class also we discussed how we can chant by level of mind. In the first class we discussed about yojana, that is the body, with help of body, like we have to keep the posture right and we have to uh, pronounce properly, and then we have to listen properly, right? Body posture, pronunciation, and then listening. This is the body part. In the mind part, we discussed mind is the most important factor in chanting. Actually, why the mind is so important? Actually, the definition of yoga is, we heard it is a connection with the Supreme Lord. There is one more definition for yoga that, according to Patanjali, that is, yoga means uh, killing the body or killing the mind or disconnecting the mind with the soul. So that's a yoga. So it is just like going to a movie. If you go to a movie and then uh, your whole consciousness is projected in the screen, and then we completely forget who we are, and then we are absorbed in the movie. Same way, this mind actually projects so many things which is not real, or so many thought process, and then we imagine that is what we. So the process of yoga is actually when we stop all this thought process, and naturally we'll come to know who we are. Just like when the movie stops, uh, then we come to know who we are actually. Then when we come out, then we identify ourselves who we are. Same way, the yoga is all about, it's not that keeping the body fit, that is one aspect of yoga, but the yoga means how to detach ourselves from the body. That's what the yoga is actually. So when the thought process got over, then gradually one can experience I am eternal. That's what the yoga is. That's what Patanjali speaks. But but even though it is very, very difficult, it's so difficult. But the bhakti yoga, how it helps, how it is very simple, and then how it purifies the mind, that is quite significant. Like, so, see, we have an attachment, we have a great attachment for this body, there's no doubt about it. So, to give up the attachment, it's not so easy. So, but we can doctile that attachment actually. So, in Bhakti Yoga also speaks about attachment. So, by Bhakti Yoga process, we develop attachment to the Lord. When we develop attachment to the Lord, gradually what happens? Gradually, the attachment to the material things get finished. So then the mind get purified, and the thought process are not there in the mind. So that's how this Bhakti Yoga. And the Bhakti Yoga, the main aspect is hearing. And then the main aspect is the hearing the holy name. So in one of the class, Srila Prabhupada was saying that you can test this holy name. If you want, you can test it. And then Prabhupada was saying, see, there is no expenditure involved. It is free. We don't charge you. There is no tax you have to pay. But you get an immense benefit. Then why can't you? Then why can't you chant? If you can get an immense benefit out of just by chanting freely, then why only the foolish person will not take it, like the Prabhupada was saying. And then if you have doubt, you can test it. And Prabhupada was saying that. So in that he was saying how to test, and Prabhupada was saying that if someone falls from the roof and his legs may get broken, but still he will not feel the pain. And then Prabhupada said, if the snake bite is there, then you chant the holy name, and then you will not be affected by the poison of the snake. And during the death, there's huge pain. At almost 40,000 scorpions, if it bites, how much it pains, that much pain during the time of death, because we're so attached to the body, Yamadut gives so much pain so that the soul can be detached from this body. So at that time, it's, it's intolerable pain actually. So Prabhupada is saying that if you can chant at that time, you will not feel the pain. So when I was hearing this, so I had a doubt. Okay, other thing is okay. How by falling from the roof, someone falls and there won't be any pain? I was little bit spectacle, how it is possible. Anyway, still I was okay. And after so many years, I went to a place called Bahadurgarh. There's a temple called Bahadurgarh. So there is a boat festival. So the boat festival got over by 10 o'clock in the night. And one pujari who was serving very tirelessly from morning to night, he was not able to chant because he was having a lot of service. So uh, uh, so he had few rounds left. So he was chanting in the night after 10 o'clock in the terrace. Um, so when he was chanting, and then generally when the body is tired and you're completely exhausted, when you chant, naturally what comes is the sleep. And he was feeling sleepy, and then in the even the sleepy mood he was chanting. And what happened? He slipped off from the terrace and he fall down. And then by Krishna's mercy, he fall into the dustbin actually. So then he got up and he had 2 rounds left, and then he chanted and slept. So in the morning, I was preparing for the lecture. I had to give the glories of the holy name. One devotee came and he said, "You know what happened yesterday? One devotee was chanting and he fall from the terrace, and then he fall down. Nothing happened to him. He just directly fall into dustbin, and then there was not even little injury. And then he got up and chanted. And morning when he came to know that he fell down, and he was into the shock, and he's taking rest now. So I was wondering, oh my Lord, this is what the doubt I had long back. How someone can fall from terrace and then he will not feel pain, and that doubt got answered. So Prabhupada challenges in that lecture. You can test it. So it is highly beneficial. The holy name is it's highly powerful. Why? Because the holy name is Krishna actually. The holy name is Krishna. So holy name is Krishna actually. That's the thing. Just a minute. So the holy name is not different from Krishna actually. Uh, so when you are chanting the holy name, when we hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then what happens is you are in touch with the Supreme Lord. When you are in touch with Supreme Lord, um, what, how do you know that you are in touch with the Supreme Lord? That is also can be tested. How you can test that? You will not feel tired. You will not feel tired. See, something which is boring you cannot do for a long time. So once one devotee was saying, you chant the holy name, then he said, and then you will get so many benefits, you will be fine and your mind will be purified and so many benefits of chanting. And he thought, okay, I will chant until unless it's comfortable. When it's boring, I'll give it up. So he started off the process like that. And he became a sannyasi. He's a 40 years in the movement. He said, still, I did not felt bored. So why? Is because when we chant the holy name of the Lord, you are directly in contact with the Supreme Lord. That's why we don't feel bored. That's why I see devotees chanting for so many hours continuously. Hmm? And I see in my life. Sometimes I go for Rath Yatra festival. A group of devotees chant for 8 hours. And chant, and not only chant, we dance and chant for 8 hours without taking anything. And then we don't feel tired. Even after 8 hours, we don't feel, oh, my leg is paining, that. No, we feel very fresh. So it's quite amazing effect, which this is actually materially impossible it is. In a metal world, to dance, they have to do many artificial things to dance. But how it is possible? Even neophyte devotees is very new and they can go on, go on. Why? Because the holy name of the Lord is not different actually. So that's why we need to focus on this holy name. What's the time? Okay. So now again we're coming to the mind. Uh, uh, so one thing, I think last time I said about how we can focus is to focus on first array. I don't know how many of them are applying this point. We have to focus on first array. Hmm? Because we have to give a simple instruction. And the Shastra says that, you see, um, we should know that how the holy name is so powerful. It is said, Ekabara Krishnam Sei Pujya Shrestha Sabakara. That means what? Even if one chants even a single name of Krishna, he becomes the topmost human being. Mhm. So, but the problem with the mind is inattentiveness. So that is the greatest obstacle. Now, because of the disturbed mind, we cannot able to focus on the holy name. Uh, so that is the greatest obstacle in the chanting is inattention. We are not able to be attentive. So how that can be done? We can capture the raising mind and focusing on the holy name. How? The easiest way to slow the mind. The easiest way is to slow the mind. How we can slow the mind? To give a simple task. And we should not think that, oh, I'm going to chant 4 rounds and I listen each and every mantra. No, that is very complicated. That is a complicated instruction you are giving to the mind. Then what will happen? The mind has a tendency to jump ahead. There's one more problem. When you chant, see, when you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You see what I've done? My voice is audible, everything is clear. Because I'm not able to see you all, some issues there, but are you able to hear properly? Someone can post me in chat that yes, okay. Okay. Okay, now I can see. So so generally when you chant like that, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You jump the beats. And the mind jumps. Mind always focus on the next mantra. It is not focusing on the present mantra, it jumps to the next mantra. So this is the nature of the mind is to go ahead, jump actually. This is one of the, so what we have to do is, we have to make the mind, we have to give the mind very simple task. Right? Make the mind like, hey, I'm going to give you a very simple instruction. Just listen one Hare or one mantra. That's all. The mantra you're chanting now. No, we are not going to worry about how many rounds you're going to chant. You have to tell them, no, now you chant this one mantra, that's all. Even one mantra at a time also is not right. That instruction is also not good. What do you have to say? You have to say only one mantra or Hare, first Hare. That's all. Even if you are not able to hear one mantra, then what you can do, you can just focus on the first Hare. So you have to tell, no, I'm just going to hear one Hare or one mantra, that's all. Even don't tell the mind that, oh no, you have to hear at least one mantra at a time. Because at a time, which tends to, it forces the mind to think for the future mantra. If you say at a time, right? So you have to be very, very careful. Right? Um, so at the time you say, then the mind will demand to know how long I should hold on. Oh, every mantra I should. Oh, at that time, this mantra. So mind has a tendency to make you feel that, oh, it will be very tough for you. Right? So give a simple task to the mind and focus on the mantra you are chanting now. So if you can keep this mind, if you can keep the mind take simple, gradual, then mind will act simply. Uh, so you should make it very, very simple. Then the chanting may become more beautiful. And this is one thing, the moment you give this instruction, present mantra, you'll hear, that's all. I'm just going to hear only one mantra. This mantra I'm going to hear, that's all. This is one task. As soon as you give this simple task, then again, you need one more application. What is that? That is determination. Right? So to direct the mind, we need sankalpa. To direct the mind, we need sankalpa. Right? Uh, so if you give some instruction, then you have to be very determined, right? Otherwise, mind will tell, oh no 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 no. Then what will happen if you don't take sankalpa? Then what will happen? Mind will tell, no no, there is something more important. And you can look and see, you can see WhatsApp message also, and then also you can chant. What is the issue? You can focus more, but in the background you can see WhatsApp message also. You can see the internet, and maybe some important message can come. I'm such an important person, so every then important message comes, so you think you can keep this, right? The mind will actually make you, it will divert you. So we have to be very determined enough to disregard the mind and focus on the mantra. Hmm. Uh, so actually, in my experience also, if you take sankalpa, oh, my humble request to Bharat Prabhu, please, if you can keep yourself mute, that would be nice. Okay. So where I was, uh, understand that. So we have to take sankalpa. If you don't take sankalpa, then mind will trick you. If you don't take sankalpa, then generally the listening capacity will go down. So we should understand the task and we have to determine to execute. All I have to do is to listen this present mantra. That's all. Nothing more and nothing less. Nothing more and nothing less. Okay. So, uh, so this is actually, it is like how you have to give this instruction. It is just like I'm sitting and doing, I mean, giving a class, and there is a breeze, slight breeze is coming. Same way, this uh, this instruction, this that I have to hear the present mantra, and I'm determined to hear. I'm very much determined to hear this. For me, the whole does not exist now. Right now, this mantra. That's it. Everything is now side now. So then there will be acute hearing. And that's what we are looking for actually. Then you will realize, oh my Lord, this holy name is so powerful. Then you will be able to enter into the relationship with God. It is so powerful tool I am sharing with you. If you can apply this, amazing. You can go deep into the holy name. So you need to pause the mantra in between and then say this. Simultaneously, this can happen, right? So simply we have to remember why we are sitting with the bead bag in the hand, and uh, chanting is not an invitation for the mind to wander here and there, right? So it is the time to enter our personal relationship with the Supreme Personality of God, Radha Krishna. Right? So and then to get that relation, to in order to establish that relationship, we need to give full attention. We need to give full attention to the holy name of the Lord. Mhm. So, so then when we gathered a sufficient determination, and then we should focus on the um, mind on its simple task that I listen to the one mantra, and we should not worry about After that, what happens? Uh, After that, what happens is that we sometimes, oh, you see, you chanted for 10 minutes, you are not able to even hear one mantra. What is the use? My dear, what is the use? Give it up, yeah. Your mind is so nasty, So you cannot do this. This is for some elevated people, You cannot do this. So the mind has a tendency to tell, see, not even one mantra you heard. You wasted half an hour, You heard the class, you have to focus. Then only the mantra will can bring you some change, and you're not able to do that. So give it up. So it will give you, the mind will show you the previous experience, how you chanted. Hmm? No need to worry. Suppose you're chanting eight round, and then there is only one mantra left now, and you have not heard any mantra, but still you be determined. No, at least okay, whatever happened is happened, but now I'll listen this one mantra left. Very attentive. Right? That's all. So in this way, we have to be very, very determined. If we determine with one mantra we are chanting now, and then we should not think ahead, uh, then what will happen? Then you'll go deeper into this. Actually, we are in the those person who are in passion, he'll always think about future. Those person in ignorance will think about the past. So that will be quite difficult because we are in the modes of ignorance and passion. But when you focus on this, gradually practicing like this, then what will happen? Then we'll be able to gradually go deeper into the holy name. Okay. So I thought this is what I want to share today. I shared two things. One is to give a simple task, and then we have to be very determined. Sankalpa. Sankalpa Sakti, you don't know what is the power of Sankalpa. Sankalpa is nothing but Krishna actually. You can achieve in your life only by taking Sankalpa. If you take, like just like you can see some month like Kartik, the people take a vow that they'll go to temple every day because Kartik is a very auspicious month. They take a Sankalpa and they do it. Some devotee take a vow, I will not take sweets, I will not take this. And then they take Sankalpa and they get succeeded. By taking Sankalpa, one can get succeed. Sankalpa Sakti is very strong. So one has to take Sankalpa. Then you'll go deep. Okay? So now, with these two things in mind, one is simple task, we'll listen to the present mantra and we are determined to hear this mantra. And we will not think about past and we will not think about future. How to take Sankalpa, which I said, is that I am very determined to hear this present mantra. I am very determined. I am very determined. Mind will tell me n number of things. I don't worry about that, but I am going to hear now. That is Sankalpa. Yes, in between it may come, but again uh, you have to enforce. I'm very determined now. So in between you may become um, a dealer, dollar, whatever. But determination, what you are remembering the sankalpa, and then you're chanting. Just like I'm chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Mind thinks, no, I'm very attentive. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mind goes, no, let me be determined. Let me hear this mantra. Every mantra, you are focusing on the same point again and again. Then gradually you are practicing. It's very difficult. The mind which is too attached to the material things, to drag them into holy name is param pavitram, is pure. It's quite difficult, but practice makes man perfect. If you want to learn chapati, then if under the expert guidance of a good chapati maker, if you practice, then what will happen? You can become a good chapati. Similarly, you may be having a number of problems, your mind is so disturbed, but by the expert guidance, by practicing it, you can achieve that. The point is that you need to practice. Practice makes man perfect. All we can do is endeavor, that's all. And the mercy is in the hands of Krishna. And Krishna is so merciful to his devotees. As we'll be going on discussing Bhakti Yoga, you'll come to know how compassionate, how merciful the Supreme Lord is.